My name is Zainab Hassan and I'm playing Antigone.
My name is Tony Jayawardena. I'm playing Creon Jafari, who is Antigone's uncle and becomes the first Asian Muslim Prime Minister of Great Britain.
In terms of my family connections in the play, Antigone has got 3 siblings. Her oldest brother, Atikly.
That's me.
Her sister Izmaini.
That's me.
And her younger brother, Polynices.
That's me.
Their parents are no longer alive, but they do have their uncle Creon. Creon has a stepson, Haman, who Antigone is in a relationship with. All gets very complicated, but I promise you it does make sense.
My name's Ollie Johnston and I'm playing Haman. He is Antigone's fiance and they live together. And I am also Creon's stepson. And I work in I'm a key figure in Creon's political team. And my mum is Eurydice, who is Creon's wife.
At the beginning of the play, I think Antigone she's young, she has a vision for the future, the world, the kind of community that she wants to sort of live in. She's thinking about the function that she has to play within that community. She's thinking about sort of, questions around belonging and identity. She's thinking about her family. She's thinking about her brother, how she can protect him, how she can protect the sort of young people within her community that she works with and amongst. So I think at the beginning, Antigone is quite vibrant. She, is quite strong. She is quite resolute. She's a bit disillusioned with the state of affairs. She's a bit disillusioned with the government and the way in which the government's policies have affected the community that she is a part of. But I think she's trying to find ways to navigate that.
My name is Abe Jarman and I play Atikly. Atikly is a young cadet on the rise, or trying to rise through the ranks of life and society, and he is on a mission to assert himself as the head older sibling. Atikly's and Polynices' relationship, I think, is one that is quite close. They've grown up together and have a very good bond, but as in life, you often go on your own path, you become your own person, and I think they've kind of chosen different paths. And I think Atikly sees it from his standpoint and Polynices sees it from his standpoint, and there's almost like a butting of the heads, as it were.
My name is Nadim and I'm playing Polynices. To start the play, my character, you will see him in the youth center, playing with his friends and everything. So he is the usual sort of outgoing but very aggressive in the youth, because he's so competitive. He wants to win the game all the time with his friends. So at the start, you'll see him being there, but at the same time has the underlying or transition of who he is. He's unsure of who he is.
Atikly's relationship with Antigone is interesting because although Atikly is the oldest and likes to see himself as the head of the 4, it's really Antigone that is the leader.
I'm Shazia Nichols and I'm playing Izmaini, who is Antigone's sister. Izmaini works in Creon's office. She's Creon's political aide, as well as being his niece. She really looks up to him, sees him as a father figure, as well as her boss. And I think she's constantly striving for his approval. She's fairly young to be starting out her political career, and she is experiencing a real rift in her relationship with Antigone then as we get into the beginning of the play. Their lives go very separate ways.
I think that Antigone reaches a point in the play where there is a big switch, and I think that big switch, I mean, it's connected to her very personally because it's related to her brother Polynices, and well, it's related to both of her brothers and their deaths, but it's also related to the way in which the state weaponizes and uses her brother for its own political gain. And I think she sees that, she sees right through it. She sees the way Creon is kind of really, I don't know, being really authoritarian, ruling with an iron fist. And I think that her purpose and her function really is to kind of be there to protect her siblings, to be there to fulfill her duty as a sister. And I think that you see her be really resolute. I think you see her be defiant. I think you see her be irrational. I think you see her be impulsive. But I also think that you see her suddenly asking really big questions of the world and society, questions that she had already in the beginning, but suddenly something clicks and the personal and the political kind of align for her.
So Antigone tells Haemon that Creon is not allowing the burial of Polynices, who's Antigone's brother, and that causes a massive rift between Antigone and Creon. And so Haemon is faced with a crisis of loyalty. He's torn, and he's forced to choose between Antigone, the woman he loves, and his stepdad, Creon.
I think for Izmaini, a real strong moment of change for her, the shift for Izmaini comes through seeing how Antigone deals with an incredibly difficult and traumatic event. And there's a line in it that talks about Antigone's courage and her bravery, and I think Izmaini is very inspired by that, and it causes her to reevaluate her own morals, because she really believes in the law and she believes in the systems, but when she sees Antigone questioning those systems, I think it allows her to question them as well.
Very simply, Antigone is about a woman who is trying to bury her dead brother, but her uncle Creon is preventing that from happening. And this leads to a huge family rift, which affects all the major players in the story and results in, it's called a tragedy for a reason. It results in quite a tragic fallout.
It's a fantastic old tale that somehow is still relevant today. The stories of family, the stories of security, the issues of wanting to feel like we belong, issues of citizenship, issues of stability in who we are, where we belong, what country do we come from, you know, loyalty, patriotism, the state of our democracy in itself, the state of our elections. All of that stuff feels very relevant right now. It feels very apt, feels very right. Yeah, it makes me very excited about telling the story. Doesn't make me like my character very much, but they're often the most fun to play.
How do you put this play in 3 adjectives?
I would say explosive,
Empowering.
Powerful.
Fierce.
And it has heart.